Cool. Let's do it. Oh, I'll just check you too. All right. There is a process in meditation which is called the 3 leaps of the frog. The frog must return to water any time that it feels like it is too hot. So it goes to water to cool down, to come back to its natural state, to keep its skin in perfect condition. And it does this by 3 simple leaps to arrive at the pond. Now, of course, this is an analogy of your process of meditation. As one sits for meditation, there is a gradual turning off of the world. And these are the 3 leaps. The first one is to turn off the connection to the physical world, including the body. The body is going to provide all sorts of conditions that will try to deter you from sitting still. You are to sit still, and whatever conditions arrive around your body, to see them, but not hold them. And in many cases, one must reject the conditions of the body. So this is the act of calming oneself down. Now, this sounds very simple and easy to understand. But as your meditation becomes more ingrained with your life, then this can actually start to be more of a difficult issue than one first thinks. And this will be illuminated when we come to the third of the 3 steps, or the 3 leaps, I should say. The second leap is one we do not talk about very often, and it is the calming of your eyes. Now, without awareness, you will not realize this to be true. Those beginning meditation will still move their eyes, even if their eyes are closed. As the eyes follow the screen of the mind and watches the mind, the eyes move from left to right or up and down. It is not solely for ones who meditate with their eyes open, who may be attracted to whatever is within their eyesight. So the calming of mind, of eyes, is also to do with the what you view. If you are viewing the play or circumstance in your mind's eye, then there is a need to calm and to focus. To focus on what you are doing and what you are attempting to hold your focus upon. So you are doing meditation and you're focusing on maybe your breath or the mantra, or maybe even a candle flame if your eyes are open. Now, this will be fairly common if the body is not truly still. It may feel still, that your legs are crossed and your back is straight. But with closer observation, it is not exactly that. Now, the third leap of the frog is the stillness of mind. Now, you may think that if the mind is still, the eyes are still, and the body is still. But you can find in meditation, it can work completely the other way around. If the body is still, if the eyes are still, then the mind will follow. You must observe which way it is for you. It may surprise you that it may be first the stillness of your body when you're also thinking it is stillness of mind. So as a busy mind will cause all sorts of stress, anxiety, maybe palpitations of the heart, sweatiness of the palms. It is the focus of what you are truly doing with an inbuilt intention, which will lead you to the pond. The pond in this case is the true self. The true self will reveal itself to you. It reveals itself to you because it is covered over in all the aggravations of body and mind. So it naturally sits with you, and in being with you, it can never leave you because it is you. So you are moving away the debris and revealing what is truly there. So next time you sit in meditation, look at what is occurring for you. Is my body truly still? This is beyond the initial movements we are talking about. Is it truly still? Are my eyes able to focus? Is the mind becoming still with the true intention of what I am doing? The focus and the concentration is, in essence, who you are. And without much difficulty at that time, it appears to be difficult, but it is not, because one will view correctly. You revealed not just the concentration and the consciousness, but also the field of potential in full awareness. Let me describe a little further. If you can do the 3 leaps of the frog, and you can hold your focus knowing this is true, you must be sitting in full potential and awareness. Because there is no external world or even bodily self to focus upon. And all potentials of existence exist right there. It will feel quiet. It'll feel like you have drifted into unity, in which case there is no time and space, just the disappearance of all things. It is but a release. As one gets more used to letting go of the body and becoming aware that you are not the body, that there is this conscious state that you focus on your work or your play or something else. It is rare indeed for one to be able to sit here and use this space correctly. It is not impossible for all beings to get here. And one day they all will. But to release the world, sit in your focus and then sit in your awareness or potential. Perhaps we'll leave that one there. May I have the healing list of names, please?
Yes, thank you. Sam and Wendy, Charlotte, Darren, Evie, and Olivia, Matt and Laura and Molly, Max and Mike, Grace, Shelley and Carrie, Taylor, Craig and Amanda, Hannah, Matt and Peta, Caitlin and Gareth, Natalie and Maddie, Chantel, Lucy and Michael Caputo, Vera and Beth, Han, Joy and Corey, Russ, Howard and Chris, Kathleen and Anne, Karen, Ross, Lily, Amanda Kay, Alex, Rob, Susie, Aiden, Abby, and Brett, Jill, Britt, Mason, Stephen, Matthew, Eric, Marianne, Jody, John, Andy, Don, Danielle, Mirabai, Helen, Chantal, Lauren, Jeanette, and Carrie Ann, Lorna and John, Susie and Kevin, Maheshwari, Coulter and Rosa, Tim, Deborah, Helen, Sydney, Marty, Brian, Dave, and Keiko, Mitsuki Kai, Wendy Lund, Liz and Maddie, Angie and Jason, and Helen Lunk, and of course, may all be happy.
So we are following a series of talks which detail the raising of one's vibration from the heaviest to a gradual process of lightening. Now, if you remember, we started with the heavier vibrations of shame and despair. And if you can feel this, you'll understand it. So one is caught in shame and despair for a while. And after a period of time, they start to release this heaviness that has kept them stuck and still. And as they begin to release, they start to look more into the exterior world and see the exterior world can be quite fearful. As they begin to move through the world once more, that fear then means one can start to desire certain things and feel like there's a few more choices which were not available to them in the heavier states. As they begin to desire, occasionally, often more than occasionally, those desires will get frustrated, which will lead to the development of anger. I want this to be this way or that way. And when it is not, I can become angry. So this anger then has an underlying issue where it is held in desire. and in particular, the frustration of those desires. So let us go further, as one is now moving through life with a little more gusto, then at times one may start to achieve certain things. So there is the development now of a potential difficulty or challenge, which we are calling pride. One becomes very prideful on what they have accomplished. Now, pride may have been taught to them by their parents or society. If we go back to childhood, pride can start to develop because the child was told that what they have achieved, they are a good girl or boy. Look how well you've done. Look how good you are because you have achieved a certain thing. It then reoccurs later in life that one then perhaps studies or works hard towards a set result and maybe achieves that result and wins, let us say, a trophy or something. And pride then becomes or can become visible in their world. The ego can attach at this point and say, look how good I am. I have won first place or second place in some competition. And then there can be the development, potentially, of arrogance. But as the ego is attaching to the result, then it builds up a whole scenario around this result and this achievement. You can see this in spiritual work. I've achieved so many clients or so much skill, I must be quite exceptional. You see, the individual is attaching to the result, but the result is only because of effort and not because of the person. Let me explain that. So going back to our example of working hard and then receiving a trophy, the parents would say, look how good you are. But the truth is, the trophy is only a result of the effort, the application to the task. The self has not changed. So it is the constant repetition of some task may lead to the award of a trophy. So the trophy is because of the many hours spent practicing or rehearsing a certain thing or learning maybe. So the trophy is because of the effort in a certain direction, not because of the person. The person is not what they do, but what they do may achieve a result. So it would be far more practical for the parent to say, well, all that work led to that result. Now, this has another potential problem. If the parent did that, then it is possible that the child could feel unloved. So there must be a balance of unconditional love to the child, not love that's dependent upon them achieving a certain reward or trophy. Now, in spiritual circles, as I said, you can see some people at times claiming that they are the good connection, the healing which has worked well, the result in some way, and the ego then gives some kind of elation. But it is probably the result of either spirit or hard work, and the person is no different. To think of the person, have they changed before or after the trophy? If you look deep enough, you'll see the person could not have changed. But the trophy came because of the effort, application towards the goal. The act of being aware and consciousness is the watching. That is where one should be. The watching of all events and circumstances. Now, we're using the application in a positive sense to receive a trophy, but it is also true in the negative sense. Work gets undertaken and no trophy is awarded. Now, if the ego thinks in this situation there is a failure, this could be to past conditioning. But the person, the true person, has not changed, just they believe that they are the result of what their action is. Look how good I am, I have won. Or look how bad I am, I have not won. Now, as one gets older, this could be around promotion within their job. Could be about whether they have $100 or not. But if you help people to see that if they place their focus on effort, the results will perhaps come, and that is a result of the effort, then you are separating the person from the play. You watch the effort being undertaken and you watch the result that may come. Attaching to the result becomes part of the problem. So do you feel elated when you have clients and deflated when you do not? Or is that your ego that feels inflated or deflated? Are you inflated because you are in a certain situation with a certain person? Or deflated because you are not in that situation? The true self is unchanging. So you can see now the three leaps of the frog. The mind is saying one thing and the ego is building itself nicely attached to results. The eyes focus on the reward that's at the end of it and not the individual steps. And the body then feels like it's stressed or not stressed. Now, the true self is unaffected by the spiritual, by the physical world. The true self is always pure. It is unhindered by anything that occurs. And as one gets nearer to the true self, you'll see certain qualities in people. This will happen naturally, but one can enhance these by practicing. So let us think of the person winning the trophy or award for something. The ego will add aggrandizement, but the spiritual essence to be practiced is humility. One may hand over that result to effort or to the higher self or to spirit or anything else and say, you have achieved that. The effort has resulted in that. Spirit have directed me in a certain way to give that result. Spirit did the work. This is a result of all that practice, and there is peace. So humility is the act of putting things correctly into place and say, Spirit did that for me. Now, one could surrender all of the physical world to the feet of Spirit and say, provide for me the life that I need for my own education, self-awareness, and just watch the life unfold. Let the ego be still. So one then separates the doing from the person. We've spoken before at other times. Label your doing and don't feel like it is you. This can be a difficult concept for people to either understand or to accept. All rewards are not yours. The physical world is not yours. The body is not you. The $100 is not you either. The nice clothes, the nice holidays, the nice house, the nice car, that is not you. But it has been given to you to use for a certain amount of time. What you do does not disturb your love. Love is always there with you, and it'll flow into the world very naturally, unless one puts conditions upon it. So anything that takes place is not of an influence to love unless you want to hold it back. I have failed at my examination. Self-esteem can be appropriated there, or one can first find self-love and say, the failure doesn't affect my love for me or my love for another. The events of the world do not affect my love unless I think my love depends upon the events of the world. Now, you can see this quite naturally in progress, in place. One achieves, the ego wants to then develop pride, potentially arrogance. The love inside is still pure, but the ego says it's dependent upon result. So not only humility is a practice one should endeavor to practice or allow to naturally develop, but also the focus on the inner world. If you focus so much on the exterior world, then your happiness will be dependent upon it. The three leaps of the frog are turning away from the physical and the mental to reveal the truth. The interior looking is exactly the same process. If you were just to spend a few seconds now and look inside and feel your emotions inside, there is contentment, there is agitation, there is sadness, whatever is there. At least you've turned away from the exterior to the interior and can begin the process of looking at the emotions which are with you. And they are with you temporarily, not permanently. The deeper emotions, if we can use the same terminology, but in essence they are spiritual qualities, are always present. And therefore, the winning of an award does not affect anything that is internally always present. For you see, pride and arrogance are always on shaky ground. Because winning of that award means that as soon as the award is won, what happens then? To retain itself, pride must be recognized by other people. Your achievements must be recognized by them. You have won the award. So pride is always at fear that one day one may be surpassed, or the results may fade, or found to be unvaluable. So then pride and arrogance must be constantly reinforced. And you may see this as in people's promotion of themselves. But humility, you see, must be based on stillness and peace. Pride must be based on action and effort. So although humility for some can be difficult to be around, anyone that's so humble, it also can be very attractive. But its alternative is full of effort, problem, difficulty, achievement, reinforcement, shaky ground, potential loss. But the true self, peace, humility, missing or not attaching to the reward or failure, the mistake or error. If you think of the word mistake, or you've missed your mark, once it's done, it is done. But how often do you dwell on it? By dwelling on it, you keep it alive. And if it's a particular problem, you hope no one finds out. And then that memory held within the mind develops karma and potentially further existences where this must be cleared. So the three leaps of the frog is away from the attachment to the exterior, allowing the natural state to be achieved. The purity of self to be acknowledged and recognized. And you separate yourself from all that the physical world has given. So if we summarize the talk so far, as I did in the beginning, the releasing of the heavier, the beginning to walk through life, a little bit of fear, greater desires, potential anger when they're not achieved, or pride when one thinks that's who one is. Then this indeed is all still the play that one endures in the watching. It feels very real. Feels very much that one is caught, held, and restricted in the play. But by coming inside, seeing that love is permanent, peace is forever, all results are driven by the effort, the action, the spirit. My inner world is totally unaffected. And then one takes the true steps into the spiritual qualities, which we'll begin to look at soon. The spiritual qualities to come. So here we achieve a border, a boundary. And if you want to say humility is the bridge, well, so be it. But that boundary is now your choices that you face all day, every day. With every action, you have two choices. The first option is what is pleasurable. And your alternative option is what is beneficial. Pleasurable will be temporary but attractive. But will not last long. The beneficial does not look so attractive, but lasts considerably longer, if not forever. And the rewards come. In our work, we're saying these are lower mind and higher mind. Gratification or awakening. And every decision, you face the two alternatives. At times, they look almost similar. Other times, completely poles apart. One is attractive, and one, at first look, is a little dull and ordinary. One will be bodily, and one will be spiritual. One will give separation, and one will pull people together. One is external, and one is internal. And you face them all, the two decisions, all the time. Am I looking outwards, or am I internal? So work through your internal state. And this will cleanse and clear you. You don't carry the burden of karmas and mistakes and awards and failures. You are forever true to you first. And the quality of you does not depend upon the quality of your result. Self-esteem when outside is tenuous. Inside, it is permanent. Come home to the pond, to your true self. Because that is where you naturally are. Just know it. Is not enough. One must be in it. And then you'll feel the joy that is permanent and is your birthright. Your spiritual self. Not the temporary external world. Until next week. God bless you all.